of young freshmen to go through a year of what they went through, you can organize them to organize their community when they go home this summer and register people to vote.
Yes, right there, man. That's a clip from our Urban View Town Hall we recently did in Atlanta, and that voice you heard was the world-renowned voice of one of the most renowned leaders of our community, as he was a pillar in the civil rights movement. He's been an inspiration to many of the likes of myself and you, Heather B, over the years. He's affectionately known as the Black Eagle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome him to the show, the one and only Joe Madison.
I'm gonna have to get I got to get a theme song like Sway just had. I mean, man, that was cool. That was absolutely
okay. And he brought his lovely wife Sherry's with us too.
Oh,
okay.
that's the ball.
Yeah, nice being here.
Oh,
Thank you. But Sway, real quickly, Mr. Madison walked in and said you were acting up
Y'all
last
can
night.
call me Joe, please.
We gonna call you Mr. Madison. We know better than that. We
all
were
right,
raised
all
properly.
right.
We're gonna call you Mr.
What?
He said you was acting up last night, though.
Oh,
Sway.
let me
what
tell
happened
you.
with you? Talk to us about it, Mr. Madison, and how
so
Sway was
first of all, he
acting.
bumps me all in the back of the head, getting in his seat.
Oh,
no,
wow.
I'm just teasing. But now he's talking about Oakland.
of course.
Now I was born in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
So went to school with the Ohio players,
Al.
Lakeside. Who else is out of there?
That's it.
No.
The OJs are not from.
And then out of Middletown is Bootsy. And all of
wow.
that, So
We
got something to bring.
I got some bragging rights here.
Nice.
It's funk.
We got Too Short. We got
See,
E40.
and then it was all that's what was going on all night long.
Did he talk about the Warriors in Cleveland? Did he bring that up too? About the Warriors?
No, he didn't. No, he
didn't
didn't
go that
bring
far?
that up.
I
But
wanted him to enjoy his night, Heather.
no, look. But then he just went wow. He just went wow. He's all up in the alleyway, and then when Salt and Pepper came out, there I said, sit down, man. What you said? No,
And you got to see the picture. Why?
Well, okay. Yeah.
Did you see? Because
She was
Sherry
packing.
was looking like
She was packing.
Pepper turned around, bent over, and almost hit you in the head, Sherry.
That's my idol.
I saw you duck.
Oh, they had them going.
moons up there. 2 moons.
That's gold. Apple bottom.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
Tony performed too.
Yeah.
They jammed out.
And then the 2 young amateurs.
Yeah.
I tell you, see, if Gladys Knight was doing a concert, she would not give that microphone to that 17-year-old.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, no,
Okay,
do not give her the microphone.
Sarah. Her name was Sarah something.
Oh, she lit that place up to be
Wow.
17 years old. And then she came out and talked a little bit, and she's got this British accent. And just as quiet and just, and then sat up there and sung Glory and interpreted Gladys's song. And then a young white boy did his thing.
Yeah, I can't remember the white boy name. Her name was Sarah Ikumu.
Is that right? Yeah.
Sarah Ikumu.
Wow,
It was a great
Sway.
night. And then,
Wonderful.
Sirius XM was honored.
Yeah.
And it was a great night, but Slay,
Sway didn't know how to
Slay
act.
was no, he was.
I
I love him. He and when we were in Atlanta together, I mean,
Yeah.
to have him speak to young people about the importance of civic engagement. Again, he's right. It's voter education. See, you got to register, but then you got to register. You got to do your education.
Yes.
And the one thing I was just telling somebody else, I am so sick and tired of Donald Trump. He sucks the air out of everything, like today. So if you act like, since you're not coming to my party, I'm going to cancel the party. You heard what he did
What, the
today.
Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
he did today with the Eagles. So
Yes.
the brothers are saying, we're not coming. But 10 of them were coming.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, fine, I'm canceling the party. You won't come to my house. I'm canceling the party. We forget, it's not his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really not. It's our house.
It's the people's house,
It's
right?
the people's house.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. So
Yeah.
what one Willie Brown, the former. Well, you remember Willie Brown?
Yo, you was an Oakland Raider too.
Okay, all right,
Really?
there we go.
I used to go to Willie Brown.
Willie Brown was San Francisco. You don't have nothing to do with Oakland.
Well, okay, I'll tell you this. Willie Brown used to have a liquor store on Fruitvale in Foothill by this place called Sanborn. Okay, that's your okay.
Come on now.
Okay, by Sanborn Park, and we used to always run in Willie Brown's liquor store, and as kids, he used to give us candies. I know Willie Brown, man. He was Oakland.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
That
well,
was
he was also mayor
went
of
up
San
to-
Francisco.
went on-
Hold
Crossed over to San
on.
Francisco.
I'm sorry. That Willie Brown.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of football
TMZ,
players.
Sway spread a scandal on Willie Brown.
Okay,
Used
no,
to be a liquor store owner.
Hold on.
Damn, giving candy to ghetto youth.
You talking about the mayor, Willie Brown? I'm talking about the Oakland Raiders. Oh,
No.
I knew that mayor too.
So,
You a mess, Sway.
That's
but
hilarious.
he said it said may take a 12-step Alcohol Anonymous program not to talk about Trump. It said it may take that, but we got to stop it.
Yeah.
And what they have to do is we've got to focus on agenda. So young people are focused on gun control.
Yeah.
Especially the high school students.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
doing a summer tour.
In Florida,
We've got the coal miners in Kentucky. Trump's telling them, we're going to hire you. They're not going to hire any coal miners. That's mechanization. But what they're getting ready to do is take away the black lung disease protection.
Yes.
And see, people aren't talking about that.
Break that down. A lot of folks don't know what the black lung disease is.
Black lung disease kills you. It's people who work in the coal mines and the dust from working in the coal mines. They get into their lungs and people die a horrible death.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is what coal miners are suffering from. Well, there's government policy to help protect them, provide them health insurance, so they're getting ready to take that away. But we're not talking about that because we're worrying about who shows up at the White House to a Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Or you, and then you have the whole Obama care. The folk in Kentucky loved Obamacare, but they changed the name. And what was it?
Kentucky Connect.
Kentucky. That's all they
The
did.
governor changed the name.
He just, instead of calling it
Obamacare.
Obamacare, it was Kentucky Connect.
And
And
if
they
the-
said, the greatest thing since
Wonderful.
sliced bread, it was wonderful. Well, that's Obamacare. Oh, no.
No,
And
can't be.
that's the game.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is we have to get we got to get politicians to follow young people. And young people have got to say, this is the platform we want. This is what we're interested in. It's young people getting jacked up every time they get stopped by a police. And they don't jack folks my age up, but they'll jack up all you young folk in this room. You siren, you see that light, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, man.
Prison reform. They have a bill now to try and release literally thousands of folk who were thrown in jail over minor offenses,
Nonviolent offenses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what Willie Brown is saying, it's going to be hard, but Donald Trump doesn't care what we think.
Yeah.
He really doesn't, and his people don't care what we think. They really don't. Anytime a lawyer tells you, or your lawyers tell you, that you could assassinate the former FBI director.
Rudy Giuliani said this, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And get off. Now I'm going to tell you something. That's serious stuff.
Yeah.
That is serious stuff. In other words, and remember when Trump said I could shoot somebody in the middle of, what was it, Fifth Avenue? And my people would still support me. They don't care what you think. So what Willie Brown is saying, not the liquor store owner, what Willie Brown, the former mayor, he was saying, forget them. They don't care. Let's stop. We can hit it and talk about it. But let's flip it. 90% ought to be putting our own agenda together.
Yeah.
10% mention it. But then move on.
Move on.
Move on.
Man, I like that, man.
Move on.
Hey, Joe,
Move on.
Joe, y'all gonna hang out for a second?
until you kick us out.
Okay, cool. Well, we got about 10 minutes. All right. We were gonna go into some celebrity wire.
Yeah,
We still should do it.
they know about the celebrities.
Okay. Joe don't like talking about a lot of that. You know.
Yes.
The first
See, there
story
you
is we
go.
talked about
Okay,
you
Doug,
walking
you know.
in.
I mean, he was thugging me out last night, man. He kept turning around, pointing at me. Every time I got up to celebrate with the artist, Joe,
Salt
man,
and
sit
pepper.
your ass down, man. What you doing, man? You cooning up here in Apollo. Man, sit your ass, huck-a-buck ass sway, man. Sit your ass down. All right, Joe Madison is here. His lovely wife is here as well. You want to speak with him, especially if you have a family member who worked in the coal mines, and you could talk about
wow.
that black lungs.
That would be great.
888-742-3345. We got a lot of people in the Midwest and black lung disease. You know about it. 888-742-3345. Here's to Ohio. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45, man. We got Joe and Sherry Madison here. You can find them, the host of the Joe Madison Show on Sirius XM Channel 126 every weekday from 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. If it wasn't for his success, there would be no Sway in the Morning. So I want to thank Joe for that, man. The Black Eagle is here. The Black Eagle has landed.
I need you guys' help with this National Hall of Fame, too, because if I can get in, then we got you coming up next.
Okay, talk about it, man.
Yeah, so we got this. Well, Sherry's got to tell you that the man, so the second time around, nominated to be in the National Hall of Fame. Radio National Hall of Fame. And, you know, it is an honor. I'm not going to sit up here and try to be all humble about it. When you're nominated, and for Hall of Fame, you ought to accept it.
Yeah.
But what happens is listeners have to vote.
Oh.
This is not, you know, it's almost like the Baseball Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Okay.
where the fans have to vote.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so last year we were nominated, and we missed it by just a hair, and found out the reason is we didn't talk about it. We just said, you know, well, thank you and good luck and that kind of thing. Well, the powers to be at Sirius XM said, oh, no, we going all out.
And
So,
we're going to push it.
you know.
So how do the listeners vote? We could get the citizens, man. Come on. We need
have
to
a
rally
whole
y'all.
universe
Come
here.
on. We
That's
got
it.
the,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
man.
Sway's
Sherry's got the
universe.
details.
There are two ways to vote. You can vote by text, and you can vote online.
Okay.
You go to text, you vote 600 to 96000. That's 600 to 96000.
What does that mean, though? You put 600 in the phone?
You put in your text.
Uh-huh.
So the address is 2 is 96000.
Okay.
And then in the message it's 600. That's it.
And
Hit
then-
the button.
yeah.
Send it.
600 to 9600. That's Joe. Okay.
Okay, so that's the real easy way.
Right.
Okay.
And then if you want to vote online,
I'm about to vote right now. So what is it online?
radiovote.com.
Okay, we're doing it right now.
Radiovote.com.
Radio
Okay.
vote.
Okay.
We all
That's
voting right
easy.
now.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it right now.
Right now, Sway.
Okay.
Radiovote.com.
Radiovote.com. It's
Okay.
going to ask you to put in your email address.
No problem.
And to verify that you're not a robot, all that good stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then that takes you to the voting page. There's two categories, music and talk.
So I just pulled it up, citizens, and it says NRHOF. Obviously, it stands for National Radio Hall of Fame Election. They have a beautiful logo right here. All we have to do is put in our email address, as Mrs. Madison confirmed. And and I'm gonna vote. We're all gonna vote for Mr. Madison to be in the National Radio Hall of Fame. This is going to be amazing.
I'm doing it right now, Joe.
Yeah.
And-
We also have a serious person in the music category, and that's what you're going to see first.
Okay,
Yeah.
now.
You got to vote for the music category
Right.
first before you can
Move
get
on
down
to
to the
talk.
talk. to the
Gotcha.
talk.
Okay, so they just
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're going
yeah.
to see
Trying to get
music
traffic.
first.
You know, like, all right, so look, we got Anthony on the line from Arizona, who's a coal miner, Joe.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anthony, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, Aunt.
Hey, Hey, how's it going?
Doing well, man. How long you been a coal miner?
About 8 years now.
Okay.
Wow.
Talk to Joe Madison. What would you like to know, man? Go ahead.
Hey, I was just wondering about you were saying the black lung disease was going to be taken away. This is the
yeah.
first time I'm ever hearing
Yeah,
about it.
that's
and I've been
because
in the
we're
industry for-
that's because we're all consumed with a lot of foolishness. But yes, what they're trying to do, on the federal level is they're trying to diminish and the protection for the black lung disease. And as you know, as a coal miner, it's a major problem. And so that's why we've been telling folks they've got to stop it, and so what they're doing, they're not going to eliminate it initially.
Yeah.
What they just start cutting back on the funding. See, that's what it is. It's a health issue. So you cut back on the funding, and that's what they're trying to do.
What can Anthony do to?
Anthony needs to be on the phone to his senators. I mean, let me tell you something. You want to talk about using your phone, Anthony? I'm going to. What's the website we tell people to go to that's free? The 5 calls.
5 calls with an S app.
Five calls app.
Calls app.
It's an app, and you put it on, and you can immediately communicate with any senator, any congressman, and tell them this is what I want you to do, and it goes out immediately.
Anthony, you gonna give that a shot because it concerns your life and your well-being, your livelihood.
Yeah. Most of it's the older guys back in the old days. They didn't have as much protection, protection for us younger guys. Coming up now, now they have a lot of respirators to prevent it. Back in the days, they didn't have it,
and that's
right now it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, and that's who they're going after because it's costing them. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
See, so it's your father and your uncles that are dying from black lung disease, and it's expensive now because it's long-term care.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, let's cut back, let's cut this, It's just like with housing, cutting back from Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
And people need Section 8 housing. One of the things that help with Section 8 housing, that's another issue, is that it keeps folk from having to move from one area to the next. Kids can't be stabilized in schools, and they've demonized anybody that it needs Section 8 housing. So you have, and by the way, the Betsy DeVos just announced that she's trying to eliminate the Department of Civil Rights in the Education Department. Yeah,
We don't hear about none
of this.
of
No, I'm telling you, it came out that they're cutting the funding little by little for the Civil Rights Division in the Department of Education, which is not only going to impact us as black folk, but it's particularly going to impact handicapped kids. They fall under the Civil Rights Division.
Wow. Anthony, you're a citizen.
A sway in the morning.
Thanks for your call. Dixie is on the line from Atlanta. You have a question, Dixie?
Hi, Dixie.
Joe Madison and Sherry Madison have joined us.
Hey, sway in the morning. Happy to be everybody. How y'all doing?
Hi.
I was listening to the show. I was wondering was this. I heard them talking about prison reform. Unfortunately, I've been on vacation a few times. Back in the day in the state, it's called the Zimmerman Bill. It eliminated all skills that you could take up while you were trying to be reformed in prison. You could take up brick mason, electricity, heating and air, and it took that out. I was wondering what y'all was trying to do to get that back in so when you come out, you can have something to stand on instead of just going back into the street.
Well, you guys were working on that with your program.
Yeah, but the last mile, Chris and Beverly Parenti and Chris Retless, we became a part of a program, Dixie, that is teaching people who are in prison how to code, so they can learn a skill that when they get out, they'll be able to adjust to this progressive society. Coding is a field that a lot of folks aren't in. It's a field that you can find a lot of opportunity in as well. So that's one way we're trying to add to rehabilitation within the prison system. And then we're spreading this, but I think in about 50 prisons around the continental U.S. and women's prisons as well. So that's one of the things we're doing, but not everybody want to learn how to be a coder, so it's more stuff that we need to do.
And we found out the other issue we're working on is that in prison they train you to be a barber. Yeah. They train you to be a cook. In some states, even after you come out and you've been trained, you cannot get a job as a barber because the license, because you're an ex-felon. You're ex-felon. You can't get a job working even in a McDonald's in some of these states and who is it impacting? It's not impacting your parents or your grandparents. It's impacting young people that are listening to the show. And I'll give you one more issue that we've been hitting hard on. Anti-lynching legislation.
Anti-lynching
Let
legislation.
me tell you.
Lynching?
Lynching goes on. They just lynched. They just killed 2 young people, 21-year-old in Oklahoma, and dismembered their bodies. This was in Oklahoma. And so there have been 200 bills introduced. There has never been an anti-lynching federal law in the United States of America. Never. There have been over 4,000 plus people who have been lynched. There's a legacy memorial just opened in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. It is a magnificent facility. It's like a museum on lynching. And the police when police shoot young women, like, are they this is lynching. This is modern day lynching. Yeah. So we said, well, wait a minute. Why isn't there an anti-lynching law? And a leader of the Congress said, well, I don't know. I don't know why, but there should be. And so you have Congressman Danny Davis from Chicago and Bobby Rush from Chicago that are trying to put together a bill to outlaw federally lynching. Can't get it passed. 200 attempts in the United States, 200 attempts to get an anti-lynching law.
You can't get it passed.
Well, we're going to get it passed.
We're going to get it passed. We're going to work with you, Joe.
We're going to get it passed, yeah.
Joe, first of all, I want to thank you for coming here. How can people reach y'all on social media?
JoeMadison.com.
Yes.
JoeMadison.com.
Yeah.
And is the Twitter
Madison, the Black Eagle, at Madison Show.
At Madison Show? That's on
Twitter.
On Twitter, at Madison Show?
I think it's at Madison Show.
I'm going.
Is it at Madison Sirius XM or at Madison Show?
It's at Madison Show.
Now, I'm going to confess. I'm going to confess. I do not tweet.
That ain't true. That's Sherry. I already can see who it is.
No.
Sam's listening.
We don't. I do not tweet.
Okay.
I got 4 hours. And anything I got to say, I'm going to say in those 4 hours.
And there it is.
And, I got a swear jar.
Oh.
Yeah, so anytime somebody swear, they got to put how much money?
No, when I swear.
Oh, how much you got to put in?
$1 for every swear. Because, I decided to take, since I'm on Sirius XM, they give you a little attitude. So I put $1 in. And then I donate the money at the end of the month to the African American Museum.
So what kind of words what do you consider swear words? Like
the same ones that y'all learned in Oakland.
What's the most money?
Huh?
What's the most money that you put in the
The
jar?
first month was $250.
Damn, Joe.
I gave it to damn don't count.
Okay,
No.
See, that's what I was going to ask you.
No,
what's the gray area?
I'm Bernie Mac. I'm D.L. Hughley.
Yeah,
I mean, I get to go for it. But what was it?
It's the George Carlin 7. Remember back in those days, it's the George Carlin 7, and there might be some new ones now because we've evolved since George Carlin.
You can't say like.
But let me.
Can you? What about ass? Is ass considered?
Nah.
Let me correct. This way, you're right. It's Madison Sirius XM. You are so right.
Okay.
Madison Sirius XM is the Twitter handle.
Follow them on Twitter.
But when
Sirius XM.
when I was in Atlanta, when we were in Atlanta together. I walked out of there with how much money? $400. That people gave me, handed me. People were giving me $20 bills to curse.
When we were all down there together?
When we were down there together. I walked out there, $400. And one minister said, here's $100. And I said, well, Reverend, I can't take your money. He said, well, I can't curse. And he says, so you get to do it for me. I mean, this is the attitude. People are mad.
It's funny because I walked out and I gave out about $400. People were coming to me asking me for money, man.
And then they come over and give it to you.
And then they gave it to me.
I gave you $400.
Well, we're going to leave on a high note. The National Radio Hall of Fame, Mr. Madison, I have several citizens from Sway in the Morning tweeting me right now saying that they voted for you. They're voting for you right now. And they're going online to the email address that you gave out, the website, and they're voting for you right now. And
I
I just
appreciate
voted
it.
as well.
Oh,
You got a
thank
lot
you.
of
I
citizens
voted too.
What's the website again?
to vote.
RadioVote.com. And then the music category is Kid Kelly.
Yeah.
Kid Kelly,
is
that's
there,
a-
so
Yeah,
that's
she's one of us.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
first category you get to, Kid Kelly, and then roll on down and vote for Joe in the talk
Hey,
category.
hey, do me a favor. Bring your posse down to D.C., man.
What you talking about, posse, man?
All of them.
I
Never
resent
seen
that
a room
comment.
so
One,
full of
2,
folk.
3, 4,
Yeah,
5,
you got it
6
going
folk
on
in
No,
here.
posse indicates that we up to some real criminal
Well,
activity,
they know
Joe.
the leader. They
Right.
saw you in action last night.
We saw it. Thank you.
I know, Mr. Madison. I
Thank
know.
you.
All
Yeah.
right. Joe, thank you
God
for coming
bless
by.
you, man.
Sherry,
Oh,
thank you for
thank
coming
you.
by,
Yeah.
man.
All
Don't
of
forget,
you. You're all welcome to come.
oh, thank you.
Please do.
Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., man. Make sure you listen to Joe Madison Show on Sirius XM, channel 126, man. And, man, I appreciate
Oh,
you.
I love you,
No,
man.
I love
mean,
you too, man.
you are not only a talent but a brilliant mind, and I say that sincerely.
Thank you, man.
You got a brilliant mind, and people ought to appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that very
Uses it
much.
well.
If you want to talk about my dance moves, too, you could throw that on top of that, and it'd be all right.
That's one thing Oakland is not known for.
Oh, man. All right, man. We're going to come back Sway in the morning. We'll be right back.
You tried
you-
to leave it on a good note.
I tried, huh? I tried.
You tried.
We ready to go? Want to do it? All right, DJ Wonder's about to go into the mix. I need y'all to go online and follow him or watch him. He's going to be live in the studio at DJ Wonder. Later on in the show, we got Jason Mitchell is stopping by, and we got the cast of Floribama Shore with MTV. They're going to stop by and join us as well. Right now it's DJ Wonder.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.